Good morning, children. In the last class, we came to know many things about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, even the author, the 8th President of India, that is Sri R. Venkataraman. So, here, one trait which marked Baba Saheb during his student days, as I gave you a description here, what was he, children? Dr. Ambedkar was a voracious reader. He had an insatiable thirst for books. He bought books by curtailing his daily needs. In New York, he was said to have purchased about 2000 old books. At the time of the second round table conference in London, he bought so many books that they had been brought to India in 32 boxes. And now when he was in USA, he was drawn to the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the USA, which gave freedom to the black Americans. He saw at once the parallel of the situation of the depressed classes in India. Now, after coming back to his home, like when he came back to India, children, Baba Saheb came to be greatly influenced by the life and work of Mahatma Phule. Mahatma Phule is the votary of a classless society and women's uplift. The need as well as the feasibility of reform impressed itself on Baba Saheb's mind, and he decided to devote all his time and talents for the amelioration of his underprivileged brethren. Newspapers started by him, such as the Muk Nayak, Baiskrit Bharat, and Samata, were at once recognized as authentic voices of the depressed classes. Likewise, institutions set up by him, such as the Itakarini Sabha and the Independent Labour Party of India, became vehicles of change. During the same period, Gandhiji was pioneering his epic reform of Indian society, which included the uplift of depressed classes whom Gandhiji had termed Aryans. Baba Saheb was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly in the elections under the Constitution of India Act 1935. Baba Saheb made effective contributions to the debates in the assembly in a variety of subjects. His flair for legislative work became evident to the whole nation. So, what is that, children? Ambedkar was influenced a great deal by the 14th Amendment of Constitution of USA, for it gave freedom to whom, children? To the black Americans. He found parallel to the situation of depressed classes even in India also. He was also influenced by the work of Mahatma Phule, who set up Satya Sodak Samaj and advocated emancipation of human. Here, depressed classes and classless society. Later on, what happened, children? Here, he started with the 3 newspapers where the depressed classes, they can send the articles or they can come out with their opinions. So, this was set up by him. So, he had to start 3 newspapers. That is, one is Muk Nayak, Baiskrit Bharat, and Samata, to voice the opinion of the depressed classes. And later on, even he had to set up, children, what he had to set up for the depressed classes, he had to set up the institutions like Itakarini Sabha and political party called Independent Labour Party. So again, not only the newspapers as well as the institutions, and even he had to set up or he had to bring a Independent Labour Party to become vehicles of change. He wanted to get lot of changes. Whereas Gandhiji was trying to bring about an epic reform. Even Gandhiji also was there with Ambedkar to bring the epic reform for untouchables. Whom do we call as untouchables? Like today we call them, like those days even Gandhiji had given a name as Harijans, whereas Ambedkar had given them the name as Dalits. Okay. So this was the name given to them. Later on, as per the Act in 1935, children, Ambedkar contested. He had to contest the elections and he got elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly. So here his flair for legislative work became evident to the whole nation. What happened? His flair for legislative work was seen when he was made the chairman of the drafting committee in the Constituent Assembly.